It's your host, Holly, and it's time for a little teaser talk. What is going on, everyone? For the first time in a very long time, I have somebody on the podcast who isn't an artist, but somehow we're connected through music somewhat, some way. Some way. Anyway, so I'm super excited to have Cameron Delano. Is that what we were going to say?
Delano.
Delano.
It depends if you're from the north or the south. It could be Delano or Delano.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato.
Yes. So let's get to the point. So why you are here? How we crossed paths was at Blood4Blood.
Correct.
And that was the first time event that they had hosted. I guess that was like DWP and Bare Knuckle.
Yeah, it was Danny Wimmer and the Bare Knuckles, Dave Feldman's promotion.
Yes, it was pretty cool because like the main attraction, because like right before Welcome to Rockville, like day one. So you're actually main card.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was like this big thing because it was like you had Alex the Terrible, like the grizzly bear versus the American cowboy. And I apologize in advance, but I didn't think you were going to win.
A lot of people didn't, which is, but you know, I'm new into the sport. So it's like I come from a bull riding background. And with it being a bull riding background, they was like, this guy's a crazy Russian. He's violent. You know, he's fought in Top Dogs promotion, which is Russia's biggest bare knuckle organization. So, you know, all odds were against me. He had the height advantage. He had the reach advantage. You know, he had the weight advantage technically. And he's Russian. But, you know, anybody that knows me personally knew that I would.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you definitely surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious because like leading up to that, how did that all happen? And like, how did you get involved with, because kind of country versus coming to like a metal fight night, if you will.
Yeah, it was definitely like a unique event, right? So this is the first time bare knuckle and metal have ever done something to collaborate. And it was, they wanted people that was going to come out there and put on a show. So that way it would sell the event so they could do more. You know, when they called me 8 weeks before the fight, they was like, hey, do you want to take this fight? You're going up a weight class to 185 if you want to take the fight. And it was kind of like, if you want it, you could take it. If not, we'll find somebody else. Yeah. But I could tell they really wanted me to fight because we went back and forth on negotiating. And they was like, look, we just need to answer by in the morning. And so I was like, you know what? For the opportunity for exposure, it was good. And I was willing to take that risk. And I don't think any fighter can become a good fighter without risk.
For sure. Now, backtrack a little bit. You said beforehand you were a professional bull rider. How did that transition go from like bull riding to bare knuckle fighting?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been kind of athletic. You know, I played football overseas. You know, I did the professional bull riding. So the athleticism was always there.
Yeah.
So being able to get into the combat sports wasn't a problem really because I've always been God-given, you know, athletic. But the grit is a big thing between bull riding and bare knuckle. You know, you got to be willing to get hit and get back up. And I feel like that transitions over really good with bare knuckle fight.
Interesting. So we have a lot in common. I've also rode a couple bulls in my life. That was a good laugh. Anyways, so we did actually have questions that your fans submitted in, but they weren't safe for work. So we've opted out
Not
to,
appropriate, huh?
yeah, we opted out to not ask those questions. But I appreciate everyone who did submit questions in. I will gladly pass them on to you so that you could see them. But
I appreciate
for the sake of, you know, PG-13 and keeping this family friendly, we won't go into it. So, okay, you obviously won that fight. Like, would you do it again as far as like Blood4Blood or?
Absolutely. I love the Blood4Blood. Like the energy there. Like obviously, you know, I fought in Fort Worth, Texas for my debut. And it was a good fight, you know. The crowd was actually double in Fort Worth. So I think we had like 6,000 to 8,000 people. Wow. And there was like 14,000 or 15,000 in Fort Worth when I fought at Dickies Arena. And the energy was good. It was very ecstatic. Like it was very, you could just feel it.
Yeah.
But the metal fans bring another type of energy too, because it was like, you know, I remember saying something before when we had our press conference. I said, I want every fan to get as loud as they can for every fighter.
Yeah.
And when I came out there with Gabby, like you could tell, like a lot of the fans were like, wow, this is cool. And they were loud, just like they were for Alex. And you know, being able to see that was good because, you know, at the end of the day, we're there for the fans. We're there to put on a show.
Just for reference, Gabby's your daughter, right?
Correct.
Which is really cool to see that moment, like to have somebody walk out with you.
Yeah, I mean, Gabby's like my best friend, you know? Cool. So being able to have that experience with her and her to be able to experience why I do what I do it was a unique feeling because now she got to kind of see that feeling. And when you got 10,000 people looking at you and cheering you on. I mean, when Gabby came out there and we started doing the little prayer, there was like women
That's cool.
crying.
Yeah.
And it's just, Gabby's a very energetic kid. She loves the spotlight, kind of like me. And, it's a good entry thing for her to
Yeah.
actually experience. And I think it will help her grow as she gets on in her
Yeah.
later years as well, because then she's used to that exposure.
For sure. And I'm like, also too, like, it's one thing for her probably to see it like recorded or, behind the scenes.
Correct, yeah.
But to be in that live environment, to see like how all the hard work that you have put in
It's
pay off.
different. It's different. When you
Yeah.
do that walk, it's such a good feeling. And I'd say that's two of my most favorite things in fighting is the walk in
Yeah.
and then that walk out after you win.
Do you have like a signature sway or
I
dance?
don't think so.
Interesting. I feel like if I was to do a signature, like Conor McGregor, I know it's not bare knuckle, but he does
Yeah.
his little arm thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be a penguin. I would come out like a little
wobble.
penguin. We'll walk.
Like a penguin?
That's so funny. So, okay, let's talk about music. We'll have to incorporate music somewhere in this. What's your come out song? Do you change it up? Is it the same one? What is it? Your walkout song?
So the first song for my first fight was supposed to be Mama Ain't Raised No Bitch. And it's kind of like a country upbeat song.
Yeah.
But it was weird. They didn't play it. And I didn't even realize it when I was walking out there for my fight, the first fight in June of last year. They didn't even play it because I was so focused in. I didn't even realize it until afterwards. And my coaches were like, hey, they didn't play your song. And I'm like, what? They did it? And I went back and watched and they didn't. So I think maybe they couldn't find the track or something happened there. But for this song, I did more of like a godly song. And it was more of like a soul felt song because Alex, really good guy outside the ring, but his music is kind of like it shadows that demonic look with the devil mask and all of that.
Yeah.
And so I wanted something to completely
good versus evil.
Good versus evil.
I like that.
And I did it for one. It was soul tapping for me to really dig deep, and walking out with Gabby was one of them reasons.
For sure.
So that way she was the last person I looked at.
Yeah.
Right. And I knew that. But also, I wanted the media to take it as good versus evil.
That's cool.
And it was a way for me to promote the fight in my own way to get more views.
That is, well, I mean, it definitely, you made your debut at, I say debut, I mean, it wasn't your first fight, but as far as Blood4Blood and like bringing that and staying true to who you are, like you never came out there like, well, I think all of a sudden we'll wear leather or stuff or something weird. So it was a very good fight. So kudos to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Congratulations on all of that. So let's talk, what's next? Who is your next opponent? Who would you like to see into the ring?
As y'all saw, I called Garbarino out. They're trying to protect him. That's why they didn't. I mean, they should have posted that, because if you want to build a fight, that's the way it is. But at the end of the day, he's their little Philly boy, and I'm that risk for him. So if he fights me and he loses his star power.
Yeah.
And they don't want to. He doesn't want to lose his star power. I wouldn't even say them. I had a phone call with him after the fact, and I'm game to fight Garbarino, but I think he's got a different route. And it's not because it's an easy fight. Because if it was an easy fight, he would take it.
Correct.
Just like he did his other 4 fights.
Yeah.
He just wants to be able to build a record so that way when he does finally get that championship fight, and if he does lose, then it's like, oh, well, I was 8-0 before I lost the championship fight. Well, he'd be 4-0 or 4-1 if he faced.
Would it surprise you if he takes on like 3 more fights, then all of a sudden is like, okay, I think I'm ready to fight you?
No, I mean, honestly, he's going to want to try to get as much ring experience as he can. I mean, he's got more fights than I do, but, I've already taken the risk. He only fights in Philly, where he lives, and he's fought in 4 bums. I went out of South Carolina to Texas to do my debut. Then I went into enemy territory in Daytona Beach to fight Alex, and I was a plus 450. And I dominated all 3 rounds, beat Alex all 3 rounds, and I got 100% KO percentage. So, I'm that fighter where it's like he knows that he can be risking a lot fighting me, and it's not worth it because he can make so much more money if he's, more wins undefeated.
Yeah, for sure. What's interesting is that it seems like there's a lot of, I don't say drama, but I'm going to say drama. You guys, you fighters are very like catty.
Well, you got some fighters that don't know how to promote fights, and there's some really good fighters in the BKFC, but they're not stars.
Yeah.
And they're not stars because they don't know how to promote themselves, right?
Yeah,
they just want to fight. And at the end of the day, like, yes, bare knuckle fighting is boxing, but it's also a promotion business. And you got to be willing and able to promote yourself.
You have to be vocal, I feel like.
Exactly. And so, like, people like Garbarino, he's a very good seller. He should probably go to WWE because he's such a little bitch. But my whole point is like, he can fight and he's also a promoter.
Yeah.
I can fight. I'm also a promoter. I know how to sell shows. He knows how to sell shows. And that's why they won't really make that fight happen until it's a mega fight.
Yeah.
Because the buildup over the next year will be huge. I'm a star, he's a star, and then they want to make sure we're both at the height of our careers, as in star power, before we face each other, because it could kill one or the other off.
You guys are edging.
Exactly, pretty much. But there's a lot of good fighters in BKFC that never, you know, you hear people say like, wow, this person's 6-0, or this person's 10-1, and it's like, yeah, but they're not promotable.
Yeah.
So not very many people know them. They don't have a very big following. They're a hell of a fighter.
Yeah.
But it's more than just fighting in this business. It's a promotion. It's a business at the end of the day, and you got to be able to entertain.
I will say, like, kudos to you and Alex. It's like you guys were both tastefully, like, I guess respectful as a way, like leading up to the fight. But then, of course, you guys get in the ring and you guys weren't very respectful.
Yeah. So, you know, they actually fussed at us a couple of times. They're like, hey, y'all need to like talk more shit. And, you know, it's hard to talk shit to a guy that doesn't talk shit.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not going to be looking like that retard that's talking shit and this guy's not saying anything. So when it came to Alex, it was like, you know, he was a good guy, very respectful. We had some training footage where I trained. He came in there and he's like, you ready? I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I was like, you're late, you know? And so it's good animosity, right?
Yeah.
And it's good sportsmanship.
Yeah.
But we talked just enough to keep the fight going where people wanted to watch it. And we said a couple words back and forth, but we also had mutual respect for one another. And to be able to get in the ring and try to kill each other, when we get in that ring, like you can see,
you guys did not hold.
We switch and I turn into somebody that's not even recognizable when I get in that ring, and I'm able to turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah.
And that's really what I think makes good fighters is the fact that I was able to get in there, go to kill mode, and then the moment I won, I turned it off. I shook his hand. I gave him a hug. I was like, I love you for this. I appreciate the opportunity. Because at the end of the day, I have a big following, right? And I have fans, and I have all of that already. But being able to also go against somebody that has double the following I have, it just helps me at the end. So he gave me an opportunity for me to make a name on myself even more on a certain platform. And I just took advantage of it.
I love it. Well, Cameron, thank you so much for spending the time to chat and kind of let us have a glimpse inside the fight world.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So for people who are wanting to see more of this chaos, obviously, you know, you do have a large following, so people could easily find you on Instagram. But what's something that we can, you know, this is teaser talk, so what's something we could tease the fans with that they can be on the lookout for and they can anticipate from you?
Anticipate? I don't know. I don't really know what to. I mean, at the end of the day, I am transitioning out of bull riding into fighting.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like teaser talk. I don't know. I might post an OnlyFans photo or something.
Whoa,
you never know. You never know. I might post a little cowboy photo.
Oh, when that happens, I will make sure to go back to this episode and hyperlink that.
Yeah.
As long as I get 10.
We'll get more comments. We'll get more comments. I mean, I got a little girl out there. Certain things I can't do, but
we'll keep the fans wondering. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you potentially start OnlyFans, but also your next fight. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Teaser Talk. Head over to teasertalk.com to subscribe so you don't miss out on another episode. Until next week, keep rocking.